right. Welcome back to the Shut Up and Work podcast. I am your wonderful host, the coach. And the next topic we have is, should you invest or should you pay off all your debts? Or vice versa. Should you pay off all your debts or should you be investing? Now, real quick, just to give the background, I know a lot of you out there, especially if you've been watching YouTube and other platforms, Instagram, you see these millionaire gurus, I guess you want to call them, these overnight gurus like, hey, I'm going to show you with my program how I read this piece of paper overnight and I made millions of dollars. Forget paying off debt. Forget this. I became a millionaire overnight. Or you've heard lots of people say, don't pay off your debts, go ahead and start investing or do both. And last thing, I know a lot of you, these are two big financial gurus. They have written plenty of books. They have their own shows. Shout out to both of them. Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and then Dave Ramsey, Financial Peace I forgot what his, I think he has a school now, a university, Financial Peace University or something, where he stresses paying off all your debts before you invest. Robert Kiyosaki focuses on using debt to invest, using good debt, as what he says, to invest and become rich, and then worry about your debts, later. So with that, I guess what I want to say, this is what I did. I basically paid off all my debts that I had. I wanted to be debt free first before I even looked at investing in anything, even at work. My 401k, or what they call with the government workers, they called it the TSP, Thrift Savings Plan, which is their form of the 401k. I invested minimally until I took care of my debts. And then I kind of increased and picked up. And then, once I got out of the debt, it was easy for me to learn things, read about a little bit of real estate, read about stocks, read about different investment or passive assets that will pay money. So that's what I did first. I chose paying off debt first, except for the house or whatever. So what about you, Lady G?
So for me, I kind of did a little bit of the opposite. I did a little bit of both. And back, a couple years ago, I had a financial coach, one of my good friends. She walked me through a plan on paying off majority of my debts. At the time, had paid off majority except for the house and my car, of course. But I paid off like my debts and stuff. But also in the midst of that, she also had me putting stuff in investment things like Robinhood, Betterment, Elvest. Mm-hmm. I think Elvest is going away, but putting things, but focusing mainly most of the money going towards paying off debts and things like that. So I like Dave Ramsey and everything like that, his books, but I think even now my focus is paying off stuff, but it's also putting some of that income towards investing and stuff. And that for me, it looks like different forms, not just investing in my 401k or different things like Robinhood or crypto or whatever. It looks like also me investing in personal development for myself too. So even though like sometimes I take a risk and I invest in like a coach that I've been following or know, and I invest in their program. I've done that before. Or I invest in some type of training or something like that where I know it can take my business or take me to the next level or add something to my resume. So in that aspect, I look at it as, okay, I can take this little bit of income, I put it aside and invest it because there's a chance it may, double up or triple, and then I can put that back onto the debt. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. Okay. And how has that worked for you? Wait, let me back up. So are you still do you have some debts or most of your debts are gone? anyway?
I still have a little debt left over, and it's mainly just like credit cards, paying down or whatever. Because again, like I got laid off a few years ago, so
Yeah.
mostly my income comes from my business or school or something like that. But
Hmm.
mostly my stuff is paid off. I have some business debt, of course, but it's not, that's the build of the business, of course, on the business side of
Right.
things. But on the personal side, it's mainly my home that the biggest debt. I paid off my car recently, so it's mainly my home that's the biggest debt. So yeah, and this is not my forever home. This is also something that may turn into an investment later, whether it's renting out or Airbnb in and out or whatever. But I'm trying to be smart about how I use my money and how I spend my money nowadays. So yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. And it's one of those things because I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't have a car payment, and I don't have any debts or smaller debts, if you want to call it credit cards, things like that. So I'm very grateful and fortunate in that, and I've been vigilant about that. So the only thing is just the house payment that I need to, and of course the regular bills, utility, internet, and all that crap. But I say that because it's like them nuisance bills, they creep up on you.
They come back every month now.
Like, damn, didn't I just pay this damn electric bill?
That's how I feel about the mortgage. They send that statement out before, like right after you
You'd be like, damn, I just paid y'all. What the hell y'all sending out?
They wait for the next month already. So
yeah, they on time on that. So those bills, you ain't never gonna have no complaint about, oh, I didn't get the bill, or y'all didn't send it in time. Shit, time you pay it, it's like the following week. Here come the new one. Like, just okay, hey, and we'll send out another statement in 2 weeks. Make sure
after that.
Yeah. So that. So like you said, I know the approach can work for different people.
Right.
Some people are able to manage big things like what you're saying, like, hey, okay, I know I might have a little bit of credit card debt or school debt or whatever, but at the same time, I can still go out here and I can still invest. So some people might have a better bookkeeping mindset. Mm-hmm. My mindset is like, I want something simple and to the point. And, I don't like having too many irons in the fire, mm-hmm. I guess you could say, because it becomes hard to manage. Hey, and as we're just saying about these bills and stuff, it's like, okay, say you got that, and then you got investments that you're putting in, like, hey, you're putting $100, let's just say, in the IRA, or you're putting $200 in your 401k. You have all these things coming at you, and your money, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's more time that you have to sit down and like budget, because you have to track the dollars and things like that. And plus, the things that you need for yourself. Mm-hmm. You may want to go out to eat with some friends during the week or the weekend. You may want to do something with your kids mm-hmm. during the week or the weekend. So for me, it's just been easier to, hey, if I can kill these debts, mm-hmm. get them all out the way. And like you said, just worry about the house payment, mm-hmm. the heating and cooling and all that stuff, then I'm good. And of course, the electric bill, you'll never forget, because where we live, especially during this time of year, mm-hmm. shit, you gonna know, you gonna keep that AC going.
For real, because it's gonna be a rough summer for us. But I like the points that you made, and I think everybody's different, of course. And my friend who we calling her the money coach, but mm-hmm. she taught me a lot about my finances and everything. And when I say, like, I think I paid off about $50,000 in 11 months.
That's great.
That's when I was actually working, so I had that extra money. But I was paying off. I paid off my other car back then. I paid that off, mm-hmm. and all my debts and stuff, and actually, and put extra money towards like the house, with the principal mm-hmm. and stuff. But when I say, like, the way she taught me back then is the way I use now for my bills. I have a whole spreadsheet, and I have everything. To me, I like to see where my money's going. I have to be I'm very visual, organized. So I have everything listed. And she taught me back then, like, okay, we're paying off debts now, but that doesn't mean, like, if you want to go to this concert or you want to put money aside for this and that, then we'll make room for it. It may not be like, taking the full amount out of one paycheck, but we're going to make room for it to where it's not like you're punishing yourself. You can
Right.
still have a little fun, you know, a little room, and I like that. And even now, I'm like, okay, if I have a project or something I want to do, let me plan for it. You know,
Right.
until I win the lottery, until I get to a point where my investments are really, you know, paying for themselves. I'm like, okay, let me be smart about it because, I need, gotta have more, gotta have a roof over my head, gotta have that first of all. So the mortgage got to be paid, and the, you know,
Right.
like you said, electricity definitely got to be paid. So there are bills that, of course, okay, phone bill got to be paid. So I'm looking at
Yep.
it as, okay, I'm gonna take care of the debts, of course, you know, and also we can talk about this in another episode, but bringing in what do you call it, multiple streams of income when it comes to other
Yes.
things, you know, because there are people who do have a 9 to 5 and they're like, okay, this ain't where I want to be my whole life. Let me start a business. Let me start a side hustle, and let me start. Okay, till it, you know, makes,
Mhm.
yeah, it takes over your 9 to 5 income. Then you're like, okay, deuces, I'm leaving y'all. It's been real, but I'm gonna go live my dreams and all that good stuff. But yeah, it's definitely smart to plan ahead. You know, I try to tell, you know, people I know, my brother, friends, or whoever, and it's like, hey, it's good to have a plan. You know, pay off your
Mhm.
debt, that's your goal and everything, because you don't. A lot of times you don't know where this world is going political wise or whatever,
Mhm.
where this country's going. So you got to have a plan. You got to have money set aside in your savings account, retirement IRA, and all that good stuff. You got to have things set aside because you just never know. And like I told my brother, these companies are not loyal. They can decide to cut you loose any minute, any day. It's in most of the contracts that say they can terminate you at any time.
Yep.
So just saying.
Terminate you for breathing. Yeah.
Look.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So, any final thoughts on it?
No, I like this topic. It's a good topic. Maybe we can revisit this in the future. But it's good.
Yeah. Most definitely.
It's definitely good to invest, but it's also good to pay off your debts too. So you ain't in a hole. You ain't living under nobody's bridge. But it's also good to just make sure you're good. So yeah.
Yeah. Most definitely. And the last thing I would just say on that is again is just looking at what is best for you. If you are a person that is structured, you can keep up with it, you know. But me, I can't keep up with everything, so I got to be a little more structured. So I got to kill the debt first, and that's how I did it. I killed my debt first, and then even when my debt was killed, what I did, I'm not going to go into too much detail. We could use it for another episode. But during that time, I started saving and I started learning and studying, you know, assets and different ways to invest. Or, like you said, started side hustling. I started doing that too, you know, working in the field of sports, refereeing and stuff like that, bringing in extra money once my debt was paid off. And I build up my savings to where, hey, when I started to invest, if something, you know, went haywire, went wrong, I was able to recover with that pretty quick. So, all right. So, yeah, that's a great topic. We'll revisit this in the future. And I think that's great. So, everybody out there, let us know in the comments. What do you think? Do you think you can invest and pay off debt at the same time? Or do you think you, like the coach, you can only do one at a time? You need to pay off the debt first and then start investing. Let us know in the comments. Other than that, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
Thanks for watching. And also, if you are having trouble or are currently working in a toxic workplace, then look no further than my book. It's available on Amazon called Shut Up and Work, Surviving Then Escaping the Workplace. Other than that, have a great day. Take care. Peace.